Wait, sir. Yeah, right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a very important webinar on risk in business. Most of the MSMEs are not aware the risk what they are taking. And today's speaker is Mr. Subhanshu Sarkar. He is a chartered accountant and co-founder of SME Analytics.
Yes.
Next slide.
Yes.
He is going to speak on this important subject. I would request everybody to understand all the participants so that they can understand. Sarkar is a co-founder and CFO, chartered accountant with business management program for IIM Calcutta and 22 years multi-industry experience in leadership role in pharmaceutical and other companies. He has also worked with PwC in his early days. So he has got a depth of understanding of MSME sector, currently helping startup and MSME to improve operational efficiency and various other functions. He is also willing to be mentor for lot many startups in for various projections of financial possibilities. And now I am handing over to Mr. Sarkar so that he will start discussing about the very critical webinar today. Thank you, Mr. Sarkar, joining us. Please continue and address the gathering.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Mr. Desai, for your kind introduction. Today's topic is very important for any business, be it a micro business to a $1 billion global business, as risk, if not properly handled, can lead to failure of a company. So in the process of discussion today, we'll take you through what is business risk, types of business risk, risk mitigation process, and specific business risk and how to mitigate them. Next slide, please. So business risk is basically a subject which is of paramount importance. It basically affects any business, be it a micro business to a $1 billion global enterprise. If a risk is not acknowledged and handled in time, it can lead to business failure. Hence, a business risk, once identified, should be properly measured, a risk profile drawn, risk assessment done, and risk management practices followed. It's a continuous process and it should be done by all organizations, including MSMEs. Next slide, please. So now I come to business risk. It is an exposure which a company has to factor that may lead to lowering of profits or lead to failure. So business risk basically has a financial impact. That is most important. One should understand the financial impact of the business risks and do a proper risk assessment and risk mitigation to attain financial goals. So it's again, I would like to say it's a continuous process and it's a journey which starts from identification of risks, which is risk assessment, then risk profiling, detailing the risk and the risk mitigation steps and seeing whether it is followed on everyday basis. Next slide, please. So the various types of business risks which we have can be categorized as financial risk, strategic risk, operational risk, reputational risk, and compliance risk. It covers the whole business risk, covers the total business starting from its strategic level to its compliance level. Next slide, please. So this is a pictorial representation of the business risks. Basically, you find at the end of it the entrepreneur who is a little puffed up and disturbed with all the risks he has. But if he can move step by step on the risks and mitigate them, he will surely be able to make his business viable and more profitable. We move to next slide, climb the stairs. Unless we know how to manage the risk, we cannot climb the stairs. And at the end of the stairs, what waits is the return on investment. That's a profit, which every entrepreneur looks at. Next slide. Next slide. So basically, when we define financial risk, as the name suggests, this refers to whatever threatens an organization's financial growth and profitability. There can be various kinds of risks in finance, and it can be a cash flow risk, it can be a credit risk, it can be even a insolvency risk. But identifying financial risks is very important, and examining your daily financial operations, especially the cash flow, becomes an integral part of the business. If your business is too dependent on a single customer and they are unable to pay, then you may have serious implications for the business's viability. So overall check on the cash flow, profitability, budget, forecast, customers is very important in running the business. Next slide. In financial risk, we may like to examine the credit terms to new customers. Why is this important? We have to know our customers. Sometimes the credit term itself varies from 30 days to 120 days. But if we link it to our cash flow, we may be requiring cash for an interest payment or any urgent payment. And at that point of time, we may not be having the cash because the customers pay at a later date. So accordingly, we need to tweak the contractual agreement with the customers. Overdue receivables, also the previous slide. Overdue receivables check is an important point because here you are checking the aging of the receivables. Your debtors may be overdue beyond a contractual period and we may not follow it. Then the company will be again losing on its working capital efficiency. We need to check whether we need insurance to cover large and doubtful debts. There are various external factors such as interest rate and foreign exchange rates fluctuation. So we may have to enter into a hedge contract or a debt restructuring. May I ask audience to be mute, please? So another major point of financial risk is basically an interest rate or a foreign exchange fluctuation. May I ask everyone to be on mute, please? Operational risks are basically arise from day-to-day operations of the business and are more related to human errors. One of the way of avoiding operation risk is automation. Automation also has tremendous opportunity of cost saving and operational improvements and minimizing the operation risk. Operation risk associated with businesses, operational administrative procedures, and has a link into various processes like recruitment, supply chain, accounting controls, HR. Next slide. Next slide. IT systems, regulation, and board composition. The board composition is important for public and private sector companies. But at the same point of time, MSMEs also should feel who are not structured as private limited or run on a sole proprietorship or partnership, that senior management involvement is what is independent. A professionally managed board or a professional oversight from the top is very important for corporate governance in a business and minimizing the operational risks. Businesses should prioritize their risk and provisions for any risk happening. For example, if someone is heavily reliant on a supplier for a key component, one should also consider that whether there are any chances of that supplier failing to deliver. We should then have a list of backup suppliers such that the continuity of business operations is maintained and there is no shutdown per se, because shutdown of business has an inherent cost. What I'm trying to emphasize is the operational risks have to be very critically managed, and automation is one of the ways to minimize the. Next slide. Now we come to compliance risk. Compliance risk is basically a legal or regulatory failure for the companies. We know in today's date, pharmaceutical companies and NBFCs are very heavily regulated in India and other parts of the world also. So, but for every business, regulation is important, and a non-compliance has a cost involved attached to it. Any non-compliance can lead to a business failure. So it's necessary to monitor and enable suitable communication with different stakeholders, investors, customers, such that the compliance risk is mitigated and minimized. Next slide, please. Now we come to another risk, which is strategic risk. A strategic risk is inherent to the goals of the organization. A strategy is the goal which an organization wants to reach. Any strategic failure is killing for the organization, because if a strategy fails, the organization fails. So what is very important is that a company should have a business model and a strat plan or the strategic plan in place and monitor it regularly such that it is in tune with the strategy developed and what the company wants to achieve. Reputational risk is inherent to a company's goodwill and premium. Today, we have a large part of the businesses' wealth lying in goodwill, intangible assets, and software know-how sort of things. Any reputational risk hits the goodwill of a business. For example, if a medicine of a particular pharma company has a diverse effect on a patient, then the reputation of the company is spoiled. Similarly, if a company fails to deliver a particular product to a customer in time, perhaps the goodwill of the company is affected. So it is a reputation a company has in the marketplace. And in today's world, reputation is everything which we can see from the unicorns and sunicorns which are developing in India. Next slide. Now we talk about risk mitigation. As the picture suggests, it's a tightrope walking. It's balancing between the risks and the rewards. What if a risk happens? What if we don't manage the risk? And what happens if we manage the risk? Next slide. Mitigating businesses. See, risk mitigation is a continuous process. It's not a one-day job, it's a journey, it's an involvement. It's understanding business, putting in place various processes, and addressing the different risks at the right level. Once someone is aware of the types of business risks, which we discussed, those financial risk, operational risk, compliance, strategic, and reputational, then, and how it can affect your business, then a proper risk management framework, a risk assessment, a profiling, and management strategies can be developed. For instance, if someone is planning to have a business overseas, it is imperative that they understand the market, the type of customers, the costs involved in promotion, and then go for the venture. Financial risks are also can be mitigated or managed through different kinds of ratios. A ratio analysis like solvency ratio, profitability, efficiency can provide the way forward in mitigating risks. Also, when we have the operating leverage of the company done and the contribution margin set, we understand whether the company is profitable or not. These are very important. So financial data analytics and a ratio analysis of the proper ratios, which can be a debt service coverage ratio for a high debt company, which can lead to a change in the capital structure. We may decide for the company that it's not viable to maintain the debt. Rather, we should pay off the debt or convert it to equity, or a debt restructuring is needed. Then the leverage ratios, the operating leverage and the financial leverage, it helps to do a break-even analysis. A break-even analysis shows where the company is earning profit and meeting its fixed costs. Beyond the break-even point, the company is profitable for every single sale, single product sale, as it has met up its fixed cost. Next slide. Now, what is this risk mitigation process? The risk mitigation process overall is first understanding the business, understanding the various risks which may be pertinent to the business, building up a risk framework, risk profiling, which is important, and then monitoring it. As I said in the beginning, it's a continuous process. It's a continuous process and it's a journey. So some of the risk mitigation process involves methodically identifying the risks, assessing the likelihood of an event occurring. It's a probability of a not non-desirable event occurring actually. Understanding how to respond to these events, putting systems in place, which is automation, use of technology, or otherwise. Monitoring the effectiveness of risk mitigation approaches and controls. Now, once the risk controls are set up, then we need to monitor them periodically and understand the way forward. Next slide, please. So this is very important. Risk mitigation or risk management is very important for the continuity of a business. Because if a risk is not managed properly, it can lead to a business failure or a business shutdown. A business shutdown or a plant shutdown has its accompanied costs. For say continuous project plant or any other plant, it's very important that the plant runs because there are various costs associated with running a company which are in the nature of fixed costs. Even if the plant stops, salary need to be paid, which is in the nature of fixed cost. Even if the plant is not working, maybe raw materials inventory is lying in the stock, which increases your working capital cost. So it's important that the business continues. And for business continuation, without disruption, we need a proper risk management process to be in place. Next slide. Next. So basically, what are risk assessments? These risk assessments are understanding risks as a business grows. As a business grows, there will be a lot of internal and external changes. A company may decide to create different layers of management. A company may decide to create more inventory, or it can think about just-in-time inventory or piling of stock. Various decisions need to be taken. It may think of having a professional management or a professional board in place. So there will be a lot of, or the external dynamics of the business can change. The market can shrink, or the domestic market may become non-viable. The international market may become viable. So there are lots of points to understand and follow in a risk mitigation process, and how the business reviews its inherent risks. Next slide, please. So now we come to, as we discussed broadly what are the major types of risk and how risks affect us, we will basically go to some specific business risks and see what action can be taken against them. Next slide. See, here we'll go by two columns. We'll have the business risk description and the actions that can be taken. See, for an asset risk, like a risk of buildings, assets, what can be there? There can be a fire. So what we need to do, we need to insure assets. We need compliance with fire building regulations, early warning systems, smoke sprinklers, etc. But this again has to be, it's not a single point approach. Like whether we'll go for the insurance or not depends on a cost viability study also. So the risks are linked, actions are to be taken holistically. Any bad debt. What is a bad debt? When my customers fail to pay me. So for that, what I can do, I can have some credit checks. I can have a aging analysis in place. I can set payment terms for my customers. Say for certain products, I can have 100% at delivery point, at the shipping point, say, airport or port. Certain businesses today operate on a 100% advance to China, especially in pharma, which is when products are sold to China. I've seen a lot of businesses go for 100% advance. So we have to discuss and take various. We have to look at the credit history of the business also. How many bad debts has been there? How have customers paid? And then take a proper decision. Next slide. Bankruptcy of suppliers or clients. This is very important. See, a business needs to be engaged with its suppliers. Suppose the supplier, they are partners to my business, to anyone's business. Now, if a business partner fails, the business also fails. So if a supplier is bankrupt, he cannot pay my receivables, and ultimately I suffer. So before entering into a contract, I need to have some financial background checks, maybe through use some business intelligence agencies. Should be having some, we need to check some early warning indicators. If a customer or mine is constantly late paying me, he is not meeting my payment terms, I need to take some stand whether to go ahead with him or otherwise. Regulatory, this is a compliance risk for which we need to understand the various legislations or laws governing business in a country. And for businesses which have multi-country impact, means they have operations in multiple countries apart from India, they need to understand the laws and regulations of international locations also. Sometimes it's possible by the business itself, sometimes we require consultants for that. And we need to engage with the stakeholders. We need to engage with employees. Employees also need to understand what is the risk of a check bounce or what is the risk of a non-compliant tax payment. Can there be a such seizure if my tax is not paid timely? So it's important to understand this holistically. Business strategy, as I have said, it needs a very clear vision by the senior management of the company. It requires a whole, because strategy is related to my goals. Is ultimate goals a company or enterprise wants to achieve. So basically it needs to be very clearly laid. The business model needs to be clear and needs to be monitored from time to time, which is very essential in any risk management framework. Monitoring periodically. Next slide, please. Cash flow. Cash flow is a very important financial risk, and which we have noticed in especially in the pandemic times. In pandemic times, what happened is cash flow was more important than sales or profit. So cash flow management is very important for a company. A company should know when it has to pay, if it has significant debt, when to pay the interest and how it is funding the interest. Then the flow between the long-term and the short-term funds. whether I'm using my cash judiciously, whether my customers are paying me on time. So all this comes out from a proper cash flow management, which every company should instigate and monitor periodically. Client attrition is a major risk. If a business doesn't have clients, then business doesn't succeed. So it needs to have a specific market plan, a go-to-market and time market strategy. It needs to engage with customers throughout the customer life cycle, sell to the right customers, and provide value. Definitely, this is very important. Unless we add value, no product or service is sellable in today's world. Value is an inherent part. So the client should foresee value, and the marketing team should be enabled to show the value to the client. Next slide, please. Compliance with regulations, laws. This is a compliance risk which I have earlier talked about. We need to comply with the laws of land and understand that a failure to comply with laws of land may lead to very severe costs being undertaken by the business. A copyright theft or action is an important. If we have a IP, we need to get it, intellectual property, we need to get it copyrighted and patented, and take prompt action on infringement. This is very important. This becomes very important for technology companies and pharma companies who do a non-infringement process development in their R&Ds and get that patented or copyrighted. So we should be aware of the marketplace, whether there is any infringement both on our part and whether anyone is infringing on our products. Next slide.
Okay, sir, just look a little faster because we should have enough time for question answer.
Okay. So how many minutes do I have?
Another minute it off.
How many minutes are I did not get?
6-7 minutes because it's 4:35.
Okay. Next slide, please. So cost of component increase or decrease basically is you have to think about the stocking. This is related to the inventory risk. Now, whether I stockpile a component or I go for just-in-time inventory, because if the cost of the component is rising, I may like to stockpile, but at the same time, I need to look at the cost of holding the inventory, which affects my working capital. A machinery failure risk can be taken care of by servicing and maintenance schedules, keeping the stock parts, and 24/7 repair services. Next slide. Next slide. Lack of skill, enterprise, and expertise. We need to provide our employees ongoing training, on-the-job training, and wherever required, automate the processes such that the skills and expertise are taken care of and the business doesn't suffer from any lack of skills and expertise. Loss of skills, any loss of manpower today affects a business because knowledge moves away with the manpower. So businesses need to take suitable steps to prevent that. Next slide, please. Data security is today a very important risk because of the cyber frauds and cyber crimes, which is happening every now and while. And we have to be prepared for with any antivirus, firewalls, the passwords, etc. laptops may have to be disabled USBs or company laptops, because some companies, what happens, the R&D is very critical information and various R&D blueprints may be stolen also. So laptops are locked and USBs are locked. Difficult to sell product. It's a go-to-market and time-to-market strategy. We need to have focus on solutions rather than the products, and a good marketing team to with marketing strategies clearly laid down. Next slide, please. Next slide. Natural disaster, it's a force majeure or calamity risk. We have to be prepared with a disaster recovery plan, as they say, or a DRP in case of any act of God happening. New markets distract or provide opportunity. Now, new markets is something a business should always look at emerging markets and conduct a due diligence before entering into each new market. Identify new stakeholders, identify challenges, because suppose a business is planning today with various export schemes being provided by government to MSMEs. A lot of MSMEs are trying to develop their export potential, but a critical market study needs to be done before entering into any new markets, whether they are competing products, what are the government laws, whether you need any particular patents or benchmarks to establish your product there. Next slide, please. Profit, I would like to dwell on this because this is very, very important. Loss of profit for any business is a strategic risk. It's a failure of the business per se. So how it can be managed or monitored is ensuring a realistic forecasting and sales pipeline. A business should have realistic and projections, profitability projections, and product pipeline. Sales and marketing strategies should be on the ground and they should be reviewed for any disruptive checks. Cost assumptions need to be looked into, whether there's any possibility to conversion, make any cost-based transformation, means a reduction of any cost. Suppose there can be by collaboration of two entities, some marketing cost can come down. Suppose a similar product is being marketed, the marketing cost can be shared while the sales cost may be individual. Like that, the marketing and sales budget can come down. So it's again very important to look into this profitability risk and managing it per se. Next slide, please. Reputation, if it is affected, the goodwill of the business is lost. It loses its marketplace and its customer. So it's very important to have a reputational risk and track every stakeholder expectation. Engage with the stakeholders, be it customers, suppliers, such that their expectations are met and the company manages its reputation. Time to market, it's related. Company should know when to time the product, because if it doesn't know the failure in the product, it will lead to a huge cost and the profitability can come down, the return on investment can be disrupted. There can be a disruption failure. The next slide. Supply chain failure and delays. A supply chain delay can be an added cost to the company. So a particular enterprise should be involved with its supply chain, the plants and their suppliers of suppliers also in sometimes, to understand the routing and the rerouting such that the suppliers understand your business model and you get a timely supply and your inventory doesn't suffer and your costs are not increased. Any technology advancement in today's world is needless to say that the business operates on technology, be it ERP or a SaaS tool. It's continuously evolving technologies. We need to be in touch with the market, understand, invest in new technology, invest in R&D, and check automation possibilities wherever possible. Next slide, please. Now I come to a point where I would like to dwell for some time on SME analytics, what we think and what we do. Nilesh, do you want to take it or you want me to go ahead?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So basically SME analytics, next slide please. We are a social fintech startup and we strongly advocate that increasing operational efficiency of existing MSME units by 5% year on year for next 3 years will create 3 to 4 low-skill jobs with marginal capex. With increased focus on efficiency and cost optimization, average life cycle of units can be increased. Today, MSME has an average life cycle of 8 years. We think and we believe it can be increased to 10 years and more through an increased focus on operational efficiency. The assets created in MSME sector from time to time after nationalization of banks today is around 200-300 lakh crores. Increase in operational efficiency by 5% year on year will put India in the forefront of economic development. This is what we think, our vision. Now, when we come to next slide, please. When we come to what we do, now desire to support MSMEs units, we provide them with detailed financial ratio analysis and recommendations. We have a proprietary DIY tool, which is a do-it-yourself tool, Babaji's, which stands for Business Analytics, Business Augmentation and Growth Information System, and is based on available data from business units. It provides various operating and efficiency ratios, and it helps in risk management and growth in operational efficiency of the enterprise. We work based on a freemium model. Our initial analysis is free. Once we get the data, we'll provide the ratio analysis with competitive benchmarks and our comments. We are in process of developing a Z-score for MSMEs to manage insolvency risk and also reduce the rate of growth of NPA in the banking sector. We also provide mentorship and advisory services to startups and MSME units. Next slide. Now we move forward to take any questions. So I see a lot of...
Sir, I invite everybody to ask question or put it in the chat box.
Someone, Uma Mahesh has said, what about the solution? I don't know. I mean, are we talking about a risk management solution? If you are talking about a risk management, if you are talking about okay. So the risk management solution basically starts with basically understanding your business risk. Maybe the first process to it is doing a ratio analysis, which will give you a as-is scenario of where you stand in terms of various parameters. Say your debt service coverage or your current assets or your debt equity, based on which various different solutions, a risk management framework can be developed and various solutions can be looked into. A solution will be unique to a particular business. It cannot be, I mean, it will not be a solution at all or for everyone. It will depend on case-to-case scenarios.
Mr. Sarkar,
Please go
we
ahead.
need to take care of the, we need to consider the common factors, the general factors which is common to every business, like debt, like of infringement, or the people, the law and order is not protecting us properly. If any partner, one of my partner cheated me, if I raise a complaint on them, I may not get the justice. It's on time. So the time barrier is there. So the who is in negative side, they are growing faster. Who is, taking the cheating us or taking the ideas, grabbing the ideas, they are making the life peaceful. But who suffered, who is the victim, could not get the justice properly. That is a very big issue. The government or the law and orders to strictly make a rule or law, make a changes in the law to make action immediately if any infringement happens. Because if you take the developed countries like America, Germany, Japan, these countries are very particular about their patenting system. If anybody patented their product or invention, the other people who was imitating, they have fear of touching that patented product. But in India, there is no restriction. Anybody can copy anybody's inventions because the inventors are putting their full effort, money, everything, time, everything into bring a solution for a complex issue. But the society is not, supporting them. At least we have to support them, or at least need not to imitate them. Let them grow. We have to make them to grow faster, so that they'll become the role model for others to come into the invention department or something. The inventions are becoming destroyed totally. The inventors are not respected in India. They are migrating to other countries. These are the very big issues. So that along with them, source of employment are going away. Today we are facing the employment issue, the unemployment, because of we are not respecting the inventors. So that is why I formed this Right Foundation. The main objective of the Right Foundation is we have to. Yes.
Mr. Mahesh. So a very pertinent point, Mr. Mahesh, and what you said is very true. See, what I feel is the R&D environment in different countries are different today. Maybe if we look at Switzerland, the R&D incentives which are provided may not be as efficient as other countries. But in India, if I look back, I think 2 years back, a patent box regime has been brought in. The patent box regime also provides some sort of R&D benefits to a local company engaged in innovation or developing a non-infringing process. The only point I would like to add here is, and Nilesh ji also can correct me where I go wrong, that see, what we are talking about, this is a external environment risk. If an external environment changes, suppose the government today brings in a new law, then it affects everyone. But various internal risks are also inherent to a business. How I am developing, what is my innovation idea? What is the tool I am developing? Where I want to go? Do I use artificial intelligence or any other infringing, non-infringing process? Am I doing a innovation per se, or am I doing a non-infringing process? I will not use the term copycat because that's a, or I'm using a non-infringing process development. So if I am really very founded on my innovation idea, I think that will definitely strike good revenue from anywhere. But yes, as you rightly said, government laws need to change, and that's a point of advocacy which we are doing with government in various forums. But with the existing laws, how I can do better is again another process which needs to be looked into risk management. Have I been able to answer or?
Sir, Pinaki is asking, is there any shortcut way to mitigate risk? How shall I find out which factor could I consider as very important and prioritize that problem and slowly mitigate future risk? Can I answer?
Yeah, please.
See, Pinaki, there is no shortcut for anything. If you try shortcuts, you will be always be in a risk of falling down. So you will have to, as Sarkar ji has said, you will have to understand your business model, identify which are the things which can go wrong. He has elaborately given possible risk, and you will have to take external and internal factors into consideration, which is specifically to your business. The first thing is, while selecting your customer, if you are good this thing, see, because this is a typical problem, you want to increase the profitability, so you want to go to some customer who are not well reputed. So that is the biggest risk in the young age of any enterprise. So these are the few risks Sarkar sir has given very elaborately, and you can always consult Sarkar ji or us for any other this thing. Any further question? Nazir has
just one point I would like to add to this. Mr. Pinaki. Yeah, Mr. Pinaki, as Mr. Desai has already mentioned, there is no shortcut to anything. And this is a continuous process. This is a continuous process of risk management, how to manage risk, which starts from understanding the risk, doing a risk profile, setting priority tasks, and then managing the risk. It's basically understanding your business, and that willingness has to come from business itself.
Okay, Nazir is asking, how effective is the company in managing its top risk? See, Nazir, see, this is the biggest challenge in MSME sector. Let them first find out what is their business model and understand. Then only you can find out what are the risks which are possible. And once you note down that risk, somebody like external consultant like Sarkar or somebody can help you to do this. COVID was not anticipated 1.5 years back, and many units have suffered. So this is as Sarkar ji has said continuously in his presentation also, that this is a continuous process. See, one of your key employee leaves, which you did not anticipate. So this kind of risk, you will have to continuously evolve. Everything which happens has got a early signals. So you should be sound in the business that early signals you can catch. And some accidents also will happen like COVID. So you will have to be very, very careful. You should look to your profit with over a span of time. You should make buffers, enough buffers wherever possible, so that risk mitigation, as Sarkar ji has suggested earlier, can be helpful to you. Any other question? Rakesh Kumar ji has asked, I am an industrial consultant. The risk solution mentioned in the presentation is fine, but how does MSME work on these factors, which requires time and capital? Rakesh ji, you are very right, but see, capital is a much larger thing. Identifying the risk should be a part of your business model, and then you should look into this thing. So time, well, either as Sarkar ji also suggested, when you can have a mentor for your unit, or as you are an industrial consultant, you can help your companies to understand this factor. See, I have to close down my own factory because there was fire and my all computers got lost. My insurance company has given the value of the cost, but the data which I lost, I could not get it. So these are the factors. Save your data, as in one of the slide he has shown the data, how to store and all that, or what are the things you have to do. So Rakeshji, I hope I have answered your question.
Just to add to Rakeshji's question, see Rakeshji, what you said is right. There are two things more important is the time and capital. But the point is, through this risk management, the whole scenario of business risk is impacts a business's profitability and capital also. So I'm in a way saving the time and capital. If I analyze the risk and have a proper risk management framework, I can save the capital and I can save the time through automation.
Sir, Nazir has asked one question. Does the board have the requisite skill set to provide effective risk oversight? See, generally, Nazir, board will come in the when you are a private limited or public limited company, and SEBI and other people has given various kind of compliances. So if you follow, generally your board will be having a clear depth of understanding your business and work on it. So, or you can select your own board with a possible solution. Can we take more?
Just to add Desai
yeah.
to Nasir's question, what is telling that a requisite skill, a board. So a lot of MSMEs today don't have a structure of a private limited company. So they may not have boards, but a top level management oversight, which is very important. And for companies which have boards, induction of professional directors or independent directors is very important for a good corporate governance.
Yes, you are right, sir. Pinaki Roy Chaudhary is asking, risk mitigation also requires understanding strong mission and vision statement. But most of the time it happens that once we have started, we realize that I am on a wrong path. It is possible to get guidance from the inception of any idea for starting a business. To give guidance, there are so many consultants in the market. They take money and then half the way they say, I can't help you. Pinaki, you may be right. See, consultants can help you if you are open. But when you have made your vision and mission statement, like you pray God in the morning when you leave your house or whatever way you do, your mission and vision statement should be imbibed, and whatever you think has to be around that. So yeah, suppose if you have got, you are doing puja of God Krishna or of Ganesha or whosoever, also there itself you should put what is my vision statement, my mission statement. And then you may not go off the track. It happens sometimes. I want to go to Mumbai, taken a car, and I go to Madras because I have not seen the road indicators. So these all are happening in a business where you cannot say that I am innocent. So when you have made a vision and mission statement, either it is written or verbal, that will help you to develop your culture in your organization as you grow. And that risk appetite also will be known for internal factors. External factor, you should be aware of what is happening to, you talk to your competitor or you talk to market wherever you are having a clear eye, you will be able to get the signals. So this is very clear. Risk mitigation, as Sarkarji has said, is a continuous process. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, perfect answer, Desai ji. And just to add on to this, Pinaki's question is very, very much appreciated. He basically tells about two things. May I ask? Okay. So basically, Pinaki, what happens is from the ideation stage, from the ideation stage, you can have a mentor such that the idea doesn't fall flat. And about consultants, yes, you need to choose the right consultant. If you really you need to understand. First, I should say the entrepreneur or the business should be willing to understand that it is important for the business to approach a consultant. Like sometimes we know that entrepreneur is his own enemy. He doesn't want to approach or he doesn't want to open up his business. The entrepreneur or the business himself has to understand that I need to discuss, I need to engage with different stakeholders. Risk mitigation and risk management is important. And then sit with consultants, understand the idea and go ahead.
Sarkar Sahab, in the view of time shortage, we can take last one more. MSME failed to take loans from lenders. Can finance like SME Analytics help business companies, startup structure the balance sheet, etc. and get capital from? Yes, SME Analytics are ready to discuss any kind of thing except arranging a loan at this moment. Because personally, we are more interested for existing as MSME, where we can make a dent by analyzing their financial balance sheet and give them various guidelines free of cost as a starting point. And our target is to reach 1 lakh free balance sheet in 1 year. And so that we will be able to develop, as Mr. Sarkar has suggested in his slide, Z-score. Probably many may not have heard. So I will restrict my answer up to this. And sir, because of paucity of time, I would like next week on same time, my topic is going to be entrepreneur is his own enemy. The topic name is entrepreneur is his own enemy, because many times he does something which is not right for his business values, culture, vision and mission, and he does either innocently or knowingly. As somebody has asked, shortcuts does not work anywhere. So please attend in a large number next week's this thing on same time.
Just like to add one point.
Yeah.
Any questions unanswered, if the audiences feel, they can write a mail to us. We will be happy to answer the question.
Yes.
Or anyone can reach the Mr. Desai or myself. The phone numbers are there on the slide for any one-to-one discussion.
And I request everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and because there are many important things which you will be learning from my earlier videos and other things, and continue. Somebody is talking. What is that?
Sir, I muted him. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So thank you everybody, and see you next week on same time next Saturday. The topic is very, very important. Entrepreneur is his own enemy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.